Okay, so 5 seconds. Let's give some people time to join.
All right.
You can talk.
We are ready.
Talk about some of the things you're going to discuss, maybe, or something.
Come.
Fortunately, the discussion today is going to be relatively simple. It's going to be low verbiage, so
Yep.
Given the audience, we will not speak in anything more than 2 to 3 syllable sentences. So.
Well, but that's more for the tankers that we've got with us.
Absolutely, and I resemble that comment because I spent the majority of my career on tanks.
Trying to figure out where the.
What's that? No, my.
We will not speak in anything more than tune it down, man. You're loud enough already.
All righty, we're good. All righty. We got 3. Let me know.
You're 1 minute in. Y'all can go ahead and start.
All righty. Hoorah! Hoorah! Well, actually, today we got to go hoorah.
Hoorah this morning.
Hoorah, because today is a very special show we're doing. We are honoring those Uncle Sam's misguided children today.
I love that
on the show. That is the beauty of, I think, the Marine Corps, is that there's so many little things we can say. We've got your devil dogs, we've got Uncle Sam's misguided, the crayon eaters, the whole 9 yards. But it's awesome. It's fun because we're going to have a lot of fun today on the show. Because, Chuck, tell us a little bit about, we've got 2 minorly significant guests joining us today. I mean,
it's a lot of fun. Every branch of the service has a senior officer.
Yep.
Be it the commandant, be it the admiral of the Navy, the general of the Air Force. But every service also has a senior enlisted man, and in our case, it is the Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps, and we are going to have first the 18th Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps, my friend Ron Green. I hope it's okay if I call him a friend. Not sure you can ever truly be friends with the Sergeant Major.
Well, I think our second one, we can definitely call him.
Definitely call Sergeant. Refer to him as Sergeant Major O. Sergeant Major Gene Overstreet, 12th Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps. Absolutely legendary. Continues to this day to serve not only the Marine Corps but the units around the Marine Corps. He is on the board of the Young Marines. Great guy. Just don't make any pecan jokes. He doesn't like pecan jokes. No,
we won't go there. Do that, but both.
Excuse me. Sorry.
To have, for those who listen to the show, I don't think if you've never served in the military, you don't understand the true significance and meaning of one, having a sergeant major, but yet having the Sergeant Major,
the reverence of
an individual branch, and the fact that we have 2 of them on the show is monstrous. So for our veterans tuning in, you guys know exactly what we are talking about and how special it is to have these 2 outstanding Americans. There is probably no other word to describe it other than 2 unbelievable Americans on board.
Quick point of order, as they would say.
Sure.
If we're going to follow Robert's Rules of Order, and I hope we don't. So November 10th is the Marine Corps birthday. That is Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
November 11th is what used to be called Armistice Day and is now called Veterans Day. We are going to talk about that heavily on next week's show on the 14th, but today is reserved almost exclusively for the United States Marine Corps. And the reason for that is well, one, we have to give our Commander-in-Chief, we have been opening the show talking about the Commander-in-Chief Trophy. And the Commander-in-Chief Trophy is awarded to the Service Academy. It's the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force with the best record among the 3.
Correct.
So it is entirely possible this ends in a tie.
Which has happened.
Has happened in the past.
Yes.
Today was supposed to be Army and Air Force, which we pretty much thought was going to be for the trophy, and unfortunately it has been postponed. If 2020 couldn't get any worse.
Yeah, and it's postponed, but it does add to a new degree of intrigue to the game.
That is true.
Because the game has been rescheduled for November 20th.
Oh, very nice.
So
that's a Friday.
Yeah. But right after that, remember, there's a small little break, because that's at the very end of the traditional college football season. Usually December, for the most part, is just a build-up for the bowl game activities. But this game leads up to what you and I would like to refer to quite often as the only game that matters, the Army-Navy game that is going to be played this year on the grounds of West Point.
Yes.
So it will be a very significant game to watch them play Air Force, and then roughly about 3 weeks later, go against Navy on the same field. That is going to be...
one of my bucket list things is I want to see a game at all three stadiums. If you've never seen the three stadiums, they're smaller, but they're all beautiful. There we go.
Yep, there.
Finally got that up. Yeah, unfortunately, that game is rescheduled for Friday, November 20th.
And like I said, it was all due. Unfortunately, Air Force Academy came down with a couple confirmed cases of COVID-19, and as we all know, due to the protocols and safety and everything like that, it happens.
Okay, we all know about COVID. Let's bring this puppy back to Texas. We want to honor the 75th anniversary of the Texas Guard's 457th Fighter Squadron.
And look at that job.
Look at that F-16. Look at that paint job. That is just amazing. They fly out of NAS Fort Worth, which used to be called NAS Carswell Air Force Base. This was our Air Guard unit that started flying in P-51. So if we can roll the next photo up,
we got it up there.
We got a shot of as they're doing that.
And while this is an incredibly beautiful plane,
love that
as
plane.
we talked about last week in the show, not an Air Force guy, nor are you, but there is probably not, and I think even pilots today will say there is not a prettier aircraft in any arsenal than the P-51 Mustang.
This is true, and
I would definitely take that.
So, and I got to correct you.
What's that?
Keep in mind, I am an Air Force brat. There we go. So the P-51 is the original plane that the 457th flew, our own 457th. They also flew F-84 Thunderjets. They flew the F-100 Super Sabre.
I knew that one.
The F-105 Thunder Chief, one of my favorite planes. Then the F-4 Phantom before they went to, as you can see here, the Texas version with the Texas stripe flying out of Fort Worth.
Right.
The F-16 Fighting Falcon. And let me tell you, this is an amazing airplane. Now, granted, we are replacing it eventually with the F-22 and the F-35, and they are 40 or 50 years more advanced generationally.
Oh, yes.
But still a pretty amazing plane. Great story about the F-15 we're not going to go into today. But we are going to sorry, I was looking for my clock and I don't have it. And we apologize this morning. We opened the show with some technical difficulties that were a little beyond our
We didn't have anyone
control.
from the Air Force here to control the
exactly. Where was our Air Force guys to come in and do that?
This is their world. They understand that stuff. But we got an Army guy and a Marine. What do you expect?
Technology? We don't know about that stuff. Heck, I still flew helicopters that had tubes in them. We didn't have a lot of technology. So if we'll flash up Echo and Ramadi, I'll remind everybody, we've got our Book of the Month Club.
Let's talk about that.
That's coming up. We'll talk about that real fast. Now, that will be, Echo and Ramadi was written by my friend Scott Husing, another fine Marine, kind of like you. He was a Mustang.
Yep.
You were a Mustang, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I thought you told me that. So, for those who don't know what a Mustang is an enlisted man who becomes an officer. There's a very special... What is that right word I'm looking for? Mustangs are another group that's the snooty officers would look down their noses at them, but everybody else would pretty much look at them with even more respect. And the greatest compliment I ever got in the military,
right.
I got a couple of good ones, but the best one I ever got was an OCS. Having one of the prior enlisted guys ask me, and he's a really sharp guy. He had been on embassy duty.
Those guys are pretty high speed.
Asked me what I did in the Marine Corps. And I went, what do you mean? And he goes, I thought you were prior enlisted. And I went, no.
Hey, there we go.
So we're going to skip over that. Let's jump into Sergeant Major Ron Green. How are you this morning, sir?
How you doing, brothers and sisters? How's it going? Happy to join you all this morning.
We're so glad you're going to be here. Now, understand you're somewhere in the country doing a cake cutting ceremony.
I am indeed. Sorry I can join you all on the cake cutting ceremony.
You're joining us virtually, which is perfect.
Yeah. We love it. We love it. We appreciate you taking some time to come join us. We are thrilled to have, and we were explaining to our audience a second ago how much you are a military celebrity. Oh, good-looking shirt, too.
Yeah, I was going to comment on that, but he jumped. I like that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, so in case anybody doesn't remember and they flunked the pop quiz, which Sergeant Major Green was, you'll notice the 18 on his shirt. I like that.
Yep, that is high speed right there.
That is high speed.
I wore the shirt because Sergeant Major Gene Overstreet gave this to me. I came out to the golf tournament in Texas, and the very next weekend we had one in Quantico for the young Marines.
Yep.
Right.
And Lee Herman used to come. He would run all of them. Of course, he'd show up there, and had the humble privilege, of laying him to rest there.
I am disappointed. You're not wearing your tartan hat. So let me tell that story real fast. Sergeant Major Overstreet, who is our next guest on the show, and is absolutely hysterical, in the actual Marine Corps tartan pattern, had I call them the Payne Stewart golf hats, the duck-billed golf hats.
Oh, I like that.
For everybody. They look so good. And I actually got to go out to the Young Marines golf tournament one year, and all of the sergeant majors were wearing them, and there must have been, I'll bet there were a dozen of you there. That was actually pretty cool.
All righty.
Well, Sergeant Major Overstreet, he's our mentor, so he guides us and keeps us on the right track.
Excellent. Well, that's a great mentor, but you yourself, Sergeant Major, are one heck of a mentor for all these Marines as well, because you've definitely paved the way for a lot of young men and women, that are earning that Eagle Globe and Anchor for sure. One of the things that we like to do here on Kilroy's Conversation is we call dropping knowledge bombs. And one of the things that we like to do, and Chuck and I were talking. Put you on the spot. Chuck and I were talking, it's like, you know what? Every branch has their own characteristic, and I would say one of the characteristics I love most about the Marine Corps is the Marine Corps knows their history probably better than any other service branch. Would you agree with that, Sergeant Major? That's probably something you guys in bed.
He's already sweating.
He's already sweating.
He's like, oh no, what are you going to throw
at me?
Okay, so we want to. I don't know if we want to call it stump the Sergeant Major, but we got some Marine Corps questions to see, how we have with Sergeant Major and make sure he's on point with his Marine Corps history.
And for the record, I have already missed all of these questions. So he's done some digging because he likes to try to put the Marines on the spot. But go for it. Ask his question.
What's that, Sergeant Major?
He's looking for somebody old school.
All righty. Okay. The first question I have over here, and I'm gonna go with an easy one for you. All right. And I'm gonna use Chuck's shirt that kind of inspired me for it. All right. On the and I believe it is the enlisted version of the Eagle Globe and Anchor. Cuba is on there, but it's not on the officer's Eagle Globe and Anchor. Why is that?
You got to be there to be on the Eagle Globe and Anchor.
Yes, there. All right. He knew it. He got that right.
All right.
Like I said, it's an easy one, little softball. That was, and Sergeant Major, correct me if I'm wrong, that landing, no Marine officer was either available or participated in it. I'm not sure what the reason was, but it was all led by NCOs, which, just like in the Army, the NCOs are the backbone of the Marines as they are in the Army. Absolutely. All right, so see, Sergeant Major, easy ones.
I'm impressed because I wouldn't have known the answer to that one. But I'll never forget it now.
All right. We're gonna go with another one. Should I go with the one I asked you earlier, or
Yeah,
save that?
let's
Okay.
go with that one.
Okay, this is a good one.
I want the Sergeant Major to share
All right,
some of
now,
his experience.
Sergeant Major, unfortunately, I cannot pull on the internet to get the exact verbiage of the quote, so bear with me. But the question is, after Chuck Wright, we know Chesty Pulley is the next greatest Marine, in Marine Corps history, but where is Chesty Puller buried, and why is he buried there?
Let's see. He's not buried in Arlington.
Right.
I know that for sure.
Yep.
See, if I was on the Marine Corps board, for promotion, I'd be getting some coins and points over here.
You would indeed. I can't tell you that one.
Okay.
Yep.
Chesty Puller is buried in Christ Church in Middlesex County, Virginia, which was the former cemetery of a cavalry unit of the Confederate Army, and the highest ranking person buried at the time of his death was a Confederate colonel. Now, Chesty decided he wanted to be buried there because if he was buried there where he's buried in plot number 2, he would be the senior ranking man on the hollow grounds, and nobody would ever have rank over him on that place ever again. And to tell him what to do.
That sounds just like it.
Now, granted, that part I'm paraphrasing because I can't pull up his exact quote out of his book, but it was something to that effect. So
he has been dying since we started this show.
To ask
He
that
has
question.
been dying to ask that question. So we're going to take you back off the spot.
Sorry, man, I want that question added to the next Marine Corps Sergeant Major board. I think that should be.
I would give Sergeant a block and ask him, that question.
I think that's a good question.
That's a very good question.
Yep.
And then you'll have to admit it came from an Army guy.
Yeah, an Army officer at that.
So
Hey, we want our Joe back. We want to bring him back to our grounds.
Sergeant Major Green, you've been out not quite 2 years now. As you look back over your career, is there one defining memory? What is it that you're looking back on? Boy, that was awesome.
If I look back at one defining memory that was awesome, it always takes me back to the very beginning. It's pretty easy.
Wow.
I'm from Jackson, Mississippi. Came to the Marine Corps by way of getting kicked out of college. Wasn't focused. Didn't have a mentor. Parents were never married. Dad served in the Army during Vietnam. Never lived more than 20 minutes from me. And I was just wayward. My best friend and I, we came to the Marine Corps together. And I'll tell you, my experience in boot camp was pretty awesome. It really, it's the one defining moment in my life that
I like that.
That's awesome.
So, Sergeant Major, is it fair to say, hearing that you're from Jackson, Mississippi, and I know I'll get a little flack for this, you're not a Hollywood Marine, you're a real Marine, right? Did I say it correctly?
Now, having been this guy here, I can't side one way or the other. I have to say, hey.
Is that terminology?
If you went to Marine Corps boot camp, you qualify.
That's a very politically correct statement.
Hey, Sergeant Major.
I learned South to the South a long time ago.
Explain to the audience.
You can really get in trouble for that.
Yeah, you get a lot of trouble. Explain to the audience the difference between a real Marine and a Hollywood Marine.
But I'll tell you, the Marine Corps really gave me direction in my life. Yeah. And for that, I'm forever grateful to the Corps and to the nation. And,
hoorah!
But what equals, in my heart with that moment, is deploying to Iraq, with a helicopter squadron.
Hoorah!
I was with HMA 169 in 06. And we had Hueys and we had Cobras. And the Hueys, both helicopters flew. One was attack, one was command, escort, and brought back the wounded. And to go over to we call it SSTP, the Shock Surgical Trauma Platoon, and see them as they brought, the warriors in. that really defined, my in my heart, my life, because it's something, you only see in combat. You only see it in combat.
Agreed.
And then to see the mortuary affairs right beside it, and to go in there, during lunch and breakfast and dinner, stop there just to say hi to those Marines. Because nobody ever wanted to go in there, because, they're preparing our warriors, our angels to go home. And I stopped by, I made it a habit every day to stop by and say hi to those Marines and see how they were doing. And those are the days I'll never forget. Yeah.
Yep, no, that's special. I said I was fortunate enough over in Iraq. I got to spend a tremendous amount of time with some Marines over in Ramadi. I was assigned over there, and it was unbelievable. Yeah, the way the Marines conduct business is definitely something very, very special. It was definitely one of those moments for me that I can say. My first Marine Corps birthday I get to celebrate was over at Blue Diamond in Iraq. And while we were in Iraq, that was still one hell of a party we had for the Marine Corps birthday. So good times then, and great sharing of that memory. That is outstanding, Sergeant Major. And
Sergeant Major, so last week's show was dedicated to the Marines we lost on the 23rd of October in Beirut. And one of those was my TBS roommate. And so we do a thing here, and I don't know if you're familiar with it yet, but you will be this coming Memorial Day for sure, a thing called Carry the Load. And that's one of two Marines that I carry and carry the load. So I'd like to ask you what you're doing now and what you see or how your military experience is affecting what you're doing in the civilian world now.
No, I work for Southwest Airlines. I'm a senior manager in the technology department. As I was getting kicked out of college, I was majoring in computer science at the time. And, I heard my mom and my dad, broke their heart. And I told them I'd finish my degree, while I was in the Marine Corps. And I did in 2011, went back and got a master's in 15 and finishing the second one now. And I work in cybersecurity and cloud technology. And I can tell you, they didn't hire me because I was any wizard in cloud or, cyber. They hired me for my leadership. And I have the experience, of mentoring. We have a warrior program at Southwest Airlines. Believe it or not, the gentleman that I won't call him a gentleman, I'll call him a Marine that I met that served back in the 90s. I met him at Camp Lejeune for this organization I support, and I'm an ambassador for on the screen behind me, Her and Our Heroes. And through that program and going there, and there's a retired general out in California that asked me to stop in and talk to the Microsoft program, which I helped start both of those programs in 2012, when I was at OneMeth. We started up those programs first place in the Marine Corps, and they're still going strong. And through that, I met Southwest recruiters that day there to recruit younger Marines, not knowing they run into me, and I have no idea, why they latched onto me, but they did. And I told them I didn't want to work before December 31st, 2019, on the day I retired. I met them back in September of 19. I just needed to shut it down. 36 years. I needed to just find my way and figure out exactly what I was going to do. And I got hired with them, and I'm an ambassador for Her and Our Heroes. I work with the Tragedy Assistance Program for survivors, TAPS, Marines United, Veterans United, with some senior enlisted from each one of the services. We work as senior advisors with that organization, and they work with, providing home loans through the VA. They're the largest provider through the VA for DOD and for the nation, for veterans. And I'm an adjunct member of the Marine Corps Scholarship Program. So I'm pretty busy.
Just a little.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. I mentor some kids, there in Dallas, some young kids who, need to find their way as well. So I'm engaged, and I'll never stop, doing things for the Corps and for all services. At Southwest, we have members of all services. We have our own group there. As a matter of fact, we met yesterday to have a powwow about bringing, next year when we start hiring again, bringing even more military in. It's Army, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard. We got everything. National Guard. we got all members there. We all get together collectively once a month and have a little powwow at the beginning of the month. So, yeah, I'm involved, and I can't thank the Corps Nation enough, and all the mentors that I've had, including Sergeant Major Overstreet. I thank all of y'all for your service.
Well, Sergeant Major, we definitely thank you.
Yeah, I look at this nation today, and it breaks my heart to know how divided we are. But this is our republic, and we got some cleaning up to do. And if we can back away from that media a little bit, I think we can do a lot better. And get closer to our God. At first election, I was telling the guy we did in the yard yesterday, he's putting out some weed and feed, and we were talking about, just service overall. He's never served. He asked me about my service, and he asked me what I missed, and I said, I miss, the camaraderie, first off. I miss being close to those things that are valuable to our nation. Our Constitution, it talks about we the people of the United States in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice and ensure domestic tranquility. We could go back and read those words. Oh. We could talk about those words now. I didn't hear those words. Didn't talk about any during the entire election. I heard a lot of I and me on both sides, and that's what I hear now. And I didn't hear anything about God. First election, no mention, no nothing. And I'll tell you, I taught Art of War and Amphibious Warfare at LSU and Southern University from 95 to 98 when I was on Assistant Marine Officer Instructor duty down in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And there's a part in there that talks about how all great dynasties have fallen. They've all fallen from within because they lost their way. Ethics, morals, values, and standards. This nation, we're losing our way. And it's dangerous, and the world's watching us. And we need to do a better job. You want a good example, you look at the military, you need one thing. During the riots, during the marches, during the election, I talked to Sergeant Major Black last week. No major problems. You have a few wayward. We take care of that in-house. But overall, 99%, 99.some% understand exactly where we stand with this.
Yeah. Absolutely. Hooah. Sorry, hoorah.
Yep.
Absolutely. Well, Sergeant Major, when we say inspiration, you definitely do that every day. I mean, you are definitely one of those leaders that we need in our world today. We definitely need more Sergeant Major Greens running around and inspiring our young men and women, and not only our young men and women, but our leaders that are in position that maybe need that guidance again and have fallen off that path slightly. And you are definitely one of those folks that can help re-steer that ship the way it needs to be. So we definitely appreciate it. I know when you come back to Texas, you're hiring our heroes. You and I need to talk quite a bit because I would love to be able to help you out in many, many ways that we can talk offline on. But
and I think at the golf tournament, so I got to meet Sergeant Major Green at the Arlie Ermy golf tournament here in Dallas, DFW, where we were supporting Homeless Veteran Services of Dallas, run by another great Marine, Vietnam-era sergeant. And one of the things that impressed me so much, and it's obvious why you were one of the sergeant majors of the Marine Corps, is just your enthusiasm for life. But I realize, as much as I'm sure you miss the Marine Corps, my little brother is getting ready to transition out before too long, and I can already sense the dread. But I have to say this. With what you were saying, I think you are being called to a bigger mission, and you've got the platform to do it and the background to do it, to inspire our national civilian leaders and to help. This is going to sound a little hokey, but to help show them that light, to move past the divisiveness, to remember the first words of the Constitution. So I think what's happened is you are in line for a much, much bigger role. And I think that's probably going to lead eventually to Sergeant Major Ron Green, President of the United States. How do you like that? No pressure, no pressure.
Understatement, but I'll tell you, I'll let God be my lead.
I like that. I like that.
Wherever God takes me, that's where I go.
Okay, so save the date. May 14th will be the 2021 Arley tournament here in DFW, and we'll be talking about that more. Really loved having you out there. But since my partner in crime was able to stump you with what should have been an easy question, Marine Corps question, you are going to owe him a challenge coin, and I have one. I absolutely love it. It was... literally was the highlight of that day, and it was a great day.
Yep. Sorry, man, you got to let me know if that enters the Sergeant Major board, because I want a little bit of
you
credit.
Want some Army credit.
I want some Army credit on that one, you know. I think that's a great question.
Hey, and we've got about a minute or two left. Can you tell our listeners the best way they can help any of the organizations you're working with?
Absolutely.
By doing exactly what you all do, supporting those organizations that support our veterans, our warriors, and their families. This is the organization behind me. We have a program for spouses as well. And go out there, look at those organizations. HireOurHeroes.org is this organization, the organization that everyone's supporting here. Find a way, it's really about the transition for warriors and spouses that have served, coming back out into the community. I'm going to get back on the conversation with Sergeant Major Black, and I would ask you to go back to your services and ask them to get better connected with the transition process, and allow the Marine Corps League, organizations out in the civilian world, the VSPs, to have those lists and make contact with those warriors before they get back out here, so that we can, pave that road that they're going to come back on and help them transition better. We transition over 200,000 members a year.
That is huge.
Every year back in society. Over 17 to 20 million have served in uniform and live in this society. They do.
Outstanding message.
We find ourselves on the streets without having anything after we leave the service. That should never happen.
Agreed. 100% agreed. Well, Sergeant Major, cannot thank you enough for taking the time, one, of what you do for service members and their families with Hire Our Heroes, but also taking the time to come out here and being on this show today. It is truly an honor and a pleasure to have you with us today.
You have the title of our most significant guest ever.
Hey, I'll be back again.
Cool.
And, thank you all for your service. God bless you all, and God bless America.
Hoorah.
God bless you, Sergeant Major. Thanks for being on.
Hoorah.
Hoorah.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.
You too.
Now, Chuck and Andrew.
Yes.
I've got some news for you.
What's that?
Well, you've got some viewers out there that are watching. See, look at how nice is that? You got people watching.
I love it. Isn't
that fun? But I just got a message. Hey, buddy, Melinda is going to be sharing Kilroy's conversation with her DFW Devil Dog group for the next few weeks. They have 3,500 in their group. Hope it helps.
Absolutely.
Look at that. You got to give it a shout out to Melinda. I mean,
Melinda, where you are. Melinda, come on the show one day. Call in.
Yeah,
We'd love to have you.
She's a Marine.
Oh, she's a Marine. Well,
she's a Marine.
Case, if we can get Melinda to come on the show, I have a Arley Army Golf Tournament on one side, Texas Veterans Chamber of Commerce on the other side, challenge coin for her.
Nice.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. We love it.
We're all about the challenge coins.
I'm telling them right now that she's invited up and that you want to give her a challenge coin.
Absolutely.
Outstanding. Hey, we're trying to get Sergeant Major Overstreet on.
In the meantime,
let's do two things. Oh, speaking of that, let's throw this picture up. So I got to explain this picture. The really ugly guy on the right is Sergeant Major Overstreet, and I can say that because he's entirely too friendly with my wife. That's a long time ongoing joke. Is he?
We're ready for him.
We're ready.
Okay.
He hasn't popped in, but
we're
ready
waiting for him to call in. On the left, wearing the colors of Team Glock, is Jack Ermey, the older brother of Arley Ermey, the iconic Marine who passed away a couple of years ago.
You know what? With him, we have to, because of Ermey, what do we have in the show today?
Okay, so we're going to tell a quick story. Did you throw in the jelly donut picture?
Yes, you should have the jelly donut picture.
Let's pop up the jelly donut picture. So for those who don't remember, and you will remember once I say it, and you go, oh, yeah, I know who he is. R. Lee Ermey was the iconic Marine actor who played the drill instructor, Gunnery Sergeant Hartman, in the movie Full Metal Jacket. And there was a great scene where the actor, Vincent D'Onofrio, that's an incredible picture that we'll use next week.
If we can't find it, that's all right. Yeah. I think everyone is familiar with
the scene
movie
where he shoves a jelly donut in the mouth of the actor Vincent D'Onofrio, who wound up flipping out and killing Sergeant Hartman.
Oh, you got to put that, but Chuck missed it.
Oh, you're a Marine. Do you have any Army friends? No, they're too busy looking up to the Marines. I mean, come on, the Marine Corps, even the Army needs somebody to be a hero to.
We have one of those too. we will get to some of those photos in a second.
Needless to say, and the one you didn't put up there was, and I love the one with the guy in the coat.
That one. Is that it? Yeah.
Yeah, the problem with this is that one's so absurd it's not even funny. I mean, come on. Sorry, all of my guard friends, but yeah, that's about what. Never mind. We're not going to pick on our guard friends, especially after honoring the Air Guard today.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
But to finish that thought, it's basically brace yourself. Facebook will be overrun as this is the week of the Marine Corps birthday.
No question about it.
And memes. And if you check the Kilroy's Conversation Facebook page, you will find the Commandant's message. And the Commandant's message is incredibly poignant to me this year because it opens with World War II Medal of Honor recipient, Marine, and our friend, Woody Williams. This is Sergeant Major Overstreet as he was presenting challenge coins to our honor guard at this year's R. Lee Ermey golf
tournament. Those guys did a great job.
Oh, they did a phenomenal job, but let me tell you, when the Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps presents you with a challenge coin, it is a very, very big deal.
That's pretty much a trump just about every coin when you go,
And that wasn't Trump in the political sense of the word.
That was
absolutely. That's
you go to a bar and you throw down coins, Bubba. You better have one heck of a coin to knock out that one.
And again, another shameless plug for our friends at Dunkin' Donuts.
Yes,
we are working hard to get them to become our sponsor. If nothing else,
do we need to do our jelly donut? Do we want our jelly donut now or later?
Do we?
I know. I think we may have some jelly donuts.
We may have some jelly donuts, and we may be eating jelly donuts on the show. Anyway, jelly donuts. One of the reasons Full Metal Jacket was such a great movie is that there were so many great lines on it.
Oh, God, yes. I mean,
we did T-shirts this year, and I don't think we have a picture of one up. Oh, my gosh, we're almost out of jelly donuts because we've been porking out this morning.
We got bacon.
Got bacon.
Well, we got bacon.
So, we hit Dunkin' Donuts on the way in, and you
every
can
day
coffee every Saturday. But no, it was great to have Gene Overstreet, and he has become a very, very good friend over the years. He's a friend of the family. Oh, cool! I get a jelly donut.
You get a jelly donut.
All right, I got a jelly donut. I'm actually going to eat a jelly donut on the air.
I got my jelly donut.
Like I need a hole in the head, but
this is for the Full Metal Jacket.
Outstanding.
Hoorah.
So I've already had one, and they were way good.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Way good.
So,
hey, Melinda says next Saturday she's available if you want her to come on.
I think we have our guest.
Let's have Melinda on as we celebrate Veterans Day.
She wants to come in and see you guys. I told her why.
I'm not that good looking. It's probably because of Chuck.
Yeah, there we go. We'll go with that. That's a ridiculous
You guys are a
comment,
mirrored reflection. Is that what you're telling me?
We have a little too much fun.
All right, I'm going to schedule her then next week.
Cool. Go ahead. Right. Next week we're talking about Veterans Day, and I'm trying to remember who our VSO of the week is. And since I don't have my clock that I lean on heavily, we are at a point in the show.
Right.
Let's jump over and JP, let's throw up some of our Melinda, we're looking forward to having you on, by the way.
Absolutely.
But let's pull up our Wreaths Across America photos and let's talk for just a minute because we are in crunch time for Wreaths Across America.
Absolutely. And for those of y'all who've tuned in the show and heard us talk about it before, Wreaths Across America, there are some unbelievable VSOs out there. And for those of y'all who don't know, VSO, Veteran Service Organization, what Wreaths Across America does for the families of the fallen is, and here's a great photo depicting what it is. You talk to the families, and they will all tell you the holidays are, without question, one of the toughest times, moving forward. And to be able to spend just that significant moment laying a wreath at the headstone of your family member and seeing the expression, the emotion that these families get to be able to honor that family member with that is unbelievable. I've been blessed to be able to be part of it. How many years, Chuck, are we going on now? I mean, I've been doing it for
7 or 8 at least.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think I've only missed it last year due to illness.
And
I've been there for at least
the picture of Andrew.
at least 6 years. I think I've done
in
it
front of one of the headstones.
and I've brought my family out there. We do that on a regular basis. It is one of my, it was a great honor and privilege to my good friend, a Marine as well. He served in the first Gulf War. Sergeant Joe Rodriguez. We lost him, unbelievable American, and I'll go into more detail about him at a later date and show. But to be able to lay a wreath at his headstone, in fact, when this picture was taken, shortly after this picture was taken, his former employer was there that day, and you can't see it in this picture, but after I laid the wreath, he came up to me and asked me how I knew Joe. And I had never met him. Mm-hmm. I maybe at the funeral I may have met, but it was a very emotional time. Right. And he came up to me. He's like, Joe used to work for me, and I remember Joe telling me, first time, and we had spent quite a bit of time. I presented him with one of my command coins, and he took it back. And at his office, they've got a little plaque memorial for Joe, and it is hanging over there.
That is incredibly cool.
It's pretty special to be there. On that day, I'm again making a point every year, with the exception of last year, I was just physically unable to.
Now, this picture was taken at the DFW National Cemetery, and here is what our ask is, because we've got some real opportunities. This year on December 19th, we welcome any and all of you to join us. Please wear a mask. We are going to practice, what is that, social protocol, or whatever they call it now. But at 1100, the families or those with a specific grave that they want to lay a wreath at will start first, and about 2 minutes later, everybody else is there. We'll place a wreath on the gravesite of one of our veterans. And we have, if you're going to do that, we have one more ask, and that is that you take a moment, particularly if you have children or grandchildren with you. In fact, that is something they encourage more than anything else. Explain to that child or grandchild who this man was. And that's a lot of times you get an amazing story just reading from the headstone. Say their names out loud. It is said that every man, and this obviously includes our service women as well, trying to be politically correct as possible. I know it's difficult for me, but it says that everyone dies 2 deaths. When they actually pass away, and then the last time somebody says their name. Yep. And our mission is that these veterans never fail to have their names read aloud. We do this at every national cemetery, at a ton of state and local cemeteries across the nation. Wreaths Across America has been around for 10, 12 years now. And now we are covering grave sites internationally because we have Americans buried around the world. There was a great quote from Colin Powell that the only ask Americans have for what we have done to keep the entire world free And we'll do a show talking about that in the future because it is a very poignant story. A lot of people aren't aware of how important America has been to worldwide freedom, but the only ask that we have is a plot of land to bury our fallen.
Absolutely. And it's incredible. That message is just very poignant. But what's also, and you brought up a great point to piggyback on that, and we'll talk more in the show, is I believe it's one of the U.S. cemeteries outside. It's in Belgium. I know that for sure. I think it's outside of Foy, maybe, where the Battle of the Bulge was from, where at the age of 14, children of that city every year get assigned an American service member. And there's a lot of pride in that city to care for that grave for 1 year. They go out there, they trim the grass around it, wash the headstones. I saw a video of it. I believe it was one of the last visits that some of the members from Easy Company, when they made their trip, so HBO did a special on it. And
for those who don't get the connection, Easy Company was the company that is featured in the great show Band of Brothers. Let's come back to, because we're notorious for tangenting.
Oh, absolutely. Us? No.
We'll come back to Wreaths Across America. So one of the things that we really, really need this year, and you can visit our website, it's dfwwreaths.com, or you can visit our Facebook page of the same name to get the link. But to sponsor, the wreaths are $15 a piece.
Which is not a huge ask. And for what you get out of that is incredible. Now, Chuck, we were talking earlier before the show, and I do have a couple questions about it for our listeners, for you, about Wreaths Across America. Is last year, I think we came close, or we covered
last year we covered
every
single headstone,
which is incredible. It is something that you can't imagine the look of what that cemetery, which is an absolutely magnificent, beautiful cemetery as is.
Yes.
But when you see all of those headstones draped over with a wreath, is just something special. We cannot afford not to remember those men and women.
Absolutely.
And this year, I know the numbers change every year because unfortunately it is part of life. You know, death is just part of it. And we're always growing that cemetery. Look at that photo right there. That is a powerful image.
And we tangent too much, but I'm going to take another tangent. I'm not sure what cemetery this picture was taken at.
It's definitely not DFW. We know that much.
It's not DFW. But I wanted to, we've talked about Arlie Ermy, and I was absolutely honored 2 years ago to attend his funeral at Arlington Cemetery. And the interesting thing was, he was buried the day before the wreaths were picked up. So we'll have a day in January.
Wow.
If you want to come out on the 19th, as I said, but we'll also have a day to lay wreaths. And please do bring children, bring grandchildren. That is such a powerful education tool. But if you want to do some actual work, either come out the Friday the 18th, as we deliver boxes of wreaths and stage them around the cemetery. If you would like to be a section captain or work the sections with us, we'd appreciate it. We could use the help. We ask a lot of our VSOs to come out and wear their shirts. So if you're a company that wants a company project, we welcome you to come out. Again, dfwwreaths.com or info@dfwwreaths.com is our email address. Shoot us an email with information about what you'd like to do and how you'd like to get involved. If you'd like to get your company involved, we welcome you. But the one thing we do ask is that if you can see it in your heart to sponsor even one wreath, we are, unlike last year where we did great, this year, unfortunately, we're way behind. And it's 2020, it's COVID. It's just another reason to hate COVID. So here's a way to give COVID the flying fickle finger of fate. For those of you old enough to remember the Roland and Martin show. And let's throw up the Texas Wreaths Across America. And I will say this, since we're going out internationally, if you come to our site, it will take you to the main page of Wreaths Across America. So everything goes through the organization Wreaths Across America. None of the money transfers here. But what I was going to say is there are 8 cemeteries in the state of Texas. There are 4 national and 4 state cemeteries. There are groups that are supporting each one of them. If you have a specific grave request, send us an email, and we will do our best at DFW. I can't make any promises about anywhere else, to make sure there is a grave, there's a wreath on that grave site. And we'll also do our best to get a picture of the one of the Air Force JROTC units lays those specific wreaths. It's a big honor for them. But I was saying, I was actually at Arlington, and it was a beautiful scene with a light snow falling, seeing all the wreaths, and knowing that Arlie will have a wreath on his headstone. As long as we can keep this program going, as long as I'm alive, we'll be working with it.
Absolutely. And it's an unbelievable cause and gesture. You know, I mean, if you think about it, what you're doing is you're allowing a family of the fallen to celebrate and honor.
Yep.
And I believe it was Terry Burgess who have a traditional holiday in an untraditional way. I think is how he phrased it.
I like that. And Terry's a good friend.
Great guy. And
we'll have Terry on
absolutely.
At some point in time.
Love Terry and Elizabeth. They are definitely some of my heroes and inspirations.
So before we jump over, because I'm gonna extend an invitation to everybody who's listening and who's close enough for this afternoon. One more time, it's dfwrees.com. It's the same name. It's DFW Wreaths is our Facebook page. Please go on, like the page. If you want to make a donation, great.
And share
if
with
not,
your friends.
Share. Exactly. I was just going to say, share it. That's another thing that you can do to really help us out. And we'll have information on the 19th. But we are pushing hard. We are under 30 days to the deadline for wreaths this year. So you'll hear us asking about that a lot. And it's just a $15 wreath. Now, if you will throw up our picture of the cake cutting ceremony.
Oh, yeah.
So in the actual tradition, and there are words that we're going to say this afternoon, but at 2:30 this afternoon, there we go. That's the one. And it is the Black Gold Harley Davidson dealership. It is brand new. It's on 121 between Stacy and Alma. The address is 1007 State Highway 121. Come out and join us. We are going to have a cake cutting ceremony. Normally, the Marine Corps League of Collin County, of which I am a very proud founding member, generally, we have a ball, and we've had Woody Williams speak. We had one of the Navajo Code Talkers speak.
Really? Ooh,
it is open. It is. We invite the public to come in because part of what we are trying to do is educate the public on some of our traditions. But the actual tradition, and it started with Commandant Lejeune, the 13th Commandant of the Marine Corps. We celebrate the birthday with a birthday cake. So we are going to have our formal cake cutting ceremony at Black Gold, not Black and Gold, Black Gold Harley Davidson. And we're also going to start our raffle for 2022.
Nice.
Plus, we will be doing the drawing for the 2021 raffle. We didn't raffle off a gun. We raffled off a box of guns, and it was in an American flag.
Just out of curiosity, when did the Marine Corps start using guns? That's how they used weapons. Where is the Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps?
Sergeant Major would be all over me for that one. Yes, okay. So, you know what? And never mind. No excuse. I'm going to drop and give you 22 here in a second. Anyway.
We'll stay live. We'll stay live for that, by the way.
Oh, there we go.
So yeah, just come across up here up front. Yeah.
Across the table.
So just let me know how that jelly donut translates into those
I was gonna
push-ups.
say, after a chili donut, that's not going to be a good thing.
Hey, you're a Marine. You can knock it out.
I have knocked it out. It gets a little ugly and painful at the end. But
Is there a time limit?
No time limit. We'll let him
Actually,
go for
the
hours.
funniest was way back when we were on another show. The girls got down to do 22, not thinking about the fact that all three of them were wearing dresses. So we pushed them up against their feet up against the wall to keep it somewhat modest. But
At least PG-13.
yeah, at least PG-13. There we go. At least PG-13. But yeah, we welcome the public to come out, spend a few minutes with us. It'll probably take about 20 minutes, and then afterwards we'll be serving some delicious birthday cake. And to celebrate 245 years of our beloved Corps. It is different. Andrew jokes about that, but I think he's seen it. We have, as Marines, a camaraderie that is just
It's probably
different.
second to none.
Yeah.
You know, I would, as a proud Army veteran, and I love my Army history and legacy, I would say, and I say this jokingly but seriously, there's probably not another branch that is into their tradition and into their heritage quite like the Marine Corps. I would say across the board, the Marines take more internal pride, would that be, than any branch there. And I had a good Marine buddy of mine who said, I said, you know what? You could take a crayon on a white piece of paper, write USMC, and some Marine will buy it somewhere. just because it's Marines go nuts for that kind of stuff.
We love to, and believe it or not, it even goes on. And you walk into a Marine Corps unit, and you'd be like, "Well, you're in a Marine Corps unit. It's not like you're gonna." Now we slap bumper stickers on everything.
Exactly.
We put our logos everywhere. I carry around with me in both of my. I thought we were getting a note there. I carry around with me and all of I've got a small portfolio and a large portfolio. I have the shiny Marine Corps stickers that I can put on things that are appropriate or that I can hand to Marines because Marines love that stuff.
Absolutely. They eat that stuff up like crazy. In fact, I remember a time, I know we're tangent, but this is actually a good tangent. I remember when you and I were over at NSA a couple years ago, and you have one of the cooler Eagle Globe and anchors on the back of your vehicle. Really cool logo. And I remember the Master Sergeant going up to you and was like, dude, where'd you get that one?
I got to have one of these.
Yeah, I mean, I'll let you describe it, but it's a really unique.
It is the basic Eagle Globe and anchor. Whoops, I forgot I had my sunglasses.
Yep.
That you can see on my hat, you can see on my shirt. In fact, I'm going to give a quick shout out to Mitch Taco Bell right now as we're winding down the show. He has Taco's Tales on Facebook, which kind of sort of like what our show is, where he interviews people and does stuff like that. But I wanted to tell this story. The hat that I am wearing, he gave me at one of the boots and shooting events. Mm-hmm. And he wanted one of the floppy hats that I got, and I was like, hey, here, you can have mine. He goes, well, let me give you my hat. Well, one of the reasons I love it, not just because Taco gave it to me, but also because on the side of the hat, it says earned, never given. That Eagle Globe and anchor is never given to somebody. It is always earned. It means a ton to us. As we are wrapping up the show, we're into our last minute. Either that or our production manager has got his Texas Tech guns up. Yep. I think he's trying to tell me we're down into our last minute. So it has been a really fun show. Thank you, my friend.
No, thank you and all of the men and women who've earned the right to call themselves United States Marines.
Including my young nephew who is getting ready to deploy with 3-5. He is an outstanding young man. We love the fact that he's on a path. He has already been promoted to Lance Corporal and to Fire Team Leader.
Nice.
So very cool. He is rising in the ranks.
What is the Lance Corporal? That E3?
You're going to make me think about
Sorry,
that.
I'm not familiar with Marine ranks. So
yes.
So stay out of the
Huh?
So stay out of the pond, Andrew. Come
Hey,
on.
I gotta ask.
It's a marine pond.
It's a marine pond.
It's a shallow pond.
Oh.
Yeah.
Only so shallow they stand on your shoulders.
For those who don't get the joke, my partner in crime is vertically challenged.
I'm the perfect height for a tanker. All right.
Yeah, this is true. He's basically a midget.
Yep.
Well, and then there's that. Yeah, that
We'll just throw him completely under the bus.
and from a Marine's mouth to an Army man's ears. Well, and thank you guys for bringing Kilroy's conversation to JPKC Network.
And we appreciate it. And
We
this
love
has been
this.
a great
So
platform.
it's JP,
JP
KC Network.
Network.
JP, Kathy, and the Crew Network.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
There we go.
There we
See,
go.
it's easier for me to remember.
Yeah.
You got too many things for me to remember.
I will
Come
tell you,
on, I'm a Marine.
Make sure you guys tune into all the shows on the network because it's just growing. I mean, you guys have just added a few more shows this week. In
We
fact,
did.
Just yesterday, didn't you add a brand new show?
We did. We added This Pink Cloud, which is to help families who are struggling with sobriety or members of their family struggling with sobriety. And they're going to do a military show for
Nice.
veterans that may also have struggles with sobriety.
Outstanding. And that,
So-
unfortunately, is a real issue.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was going to make a joke there, but that wouldn't be entirely appropriate because that's a
sensitive-
great cause.
Yeah, it's a great cause, and there's a lot of great shows on this network. So make sure you tune in, follow us, and all of the great shows on JP Cassie and the Crew Network because I promise you there is something for everyone.
Little
out
something
there
for everyone.
to
And
listen.
hey, we're asking you to start your Saturdays with Kilroy's Conversation. We'll be here at 0800 every Saturday from now on.
Well, and I wanted to also throw out there, because your group is going to be veterans and active military, November the 11th, JP Kathy and the Crew Network is hosting a Veterans Day telethon
Yep, and I will be here
from
supporting them.
7:30 to 5.
And you just tell me when you want me here,
Hey.
and I will be here.
Whenever you can come, we're going to have breakfast being served. We're going to have lunch being
Well, you
served.
just hit the magic word.
Where's
Yeah.
the brochure? Because I want to make sure I get that right, Charles. Can you grab
and
that for me?
Speaking of which, for all of our veterans, Norma's is doing free breakfast from 0800 to 10 or 1100. And I'm meeting Jim Darwin at Jim Blythe, excuse me, too many Jims in my life. Another veteran.
No, that's too easy. I was going to go there.
Yeah, let's not go there. But we'll both show up in the studio right after that.
Well, and I want to do a big shout out because these guys are huge veteran supporters at Meet You, MEAT, Meet You Anywhere, and it's the letter U, where they'll go travel their barbecue. So it is breakfast burritos in the morning, breakfast tacos in the morning, and then it's going to be awesome Texas barbecue.
Oh,
In the
that's a
afternoon.
key.
Key designator.
Yeah,
designator
key
right there.
designator. So
Yeah.
get
So-
out here to Venture X Studios in Frisco.
Yep.
JP, can I get a letter to my cardiologist say that my diet starts after the holidays? Because
He's not worried. You're a part of the Army. He figures you guys are all unhealthy anyway. So it's the Marines that are fit. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
we'll
was
get
gonna
you a
say,
letter. We'll get
I'll
you a letter on
back to
letterhead.
being fit one of these days.
So, anyways, I just wanted to throw that out there.
Excellent.
Because 100%, 100 pennies out of a dollar go to a veteran.
Outstanding.
No
Nice.
administrative costs being pulled out.
Love it.
Yeah,
Absolutely
absolutely.
love it.
So, at that, I'm going to let you guys sign off. Thank you.
Hey,
Alrighty.
cool.
well, Chuck, I have to give my big hoorah, and we will see you all next week on Kilroy's Conversation.
Outstanding. Hoorah. Big shout out. That voice you were hearing was John Payton, better known as JP, our friend of the show. And a big shout out to our friend Charles for making sure we got the show on today, because with 5 minutes before the show, it was in question, but we pulled it off. It's a great show.
Hey,
Thank everybody for
Marines
listening.
adapt and overcome, right?
Absolutely. Improvise, adapt, and overcome. Thank you all very much. Look forward to talking to you next Saturday.
See you next week.